Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for coming out and joining us on what ended up being a beautiful day. We're really glad we didn't try to do this last week. Turned out really nice. My name's Adam Heaps. I'm the executive director here at the clinic, and I've had the pleasure of being in that position for about 10 years. And during that time, I've seen the needs of the rare disease community here in Lancaster and beyond push the clinic to grow and expand our existing medical, laboratory, and research services, while also launching new initiatives focused on identifying innovative ways to improve the quality of life for the families who utilize our services. This increase in the number of patients, laboratory testing, and research projects required an increase in the number of staff in all areas. These increases made the original clinic building, which we spent almost 35 years in, feel smaller and smaller as we needed more exam rooms, parking spaces, and offices. Unfortunately, it was not possible to expand our facility in Strasburg, so after a multi-year search, we ended up purchasing the property here that we're at today in Gordonville and building our new home. Early on in construction, and I think it was maybe even before the steel was put up, just maybe when there were concrete footers and some poured concrete down, I had stopped at the site after work just to check on progress, and there was a gentleman that rode up on a bicycle. And we were chatting a little bit, and he had mentioned that he had helped to set the concrete and just wanted to come back to take a look at the project to see what had happened since he moved on. And that for him, he does one piece of the project early on and moves on to the next project, and a lot of times doesn't get to see the finished project. That experience partially inspired the event here today. We wanted to have an opportunity to thank everybody here who were so generous in donating materials and their time or talent to the project, and to give you an opportunity to see the final result and to tell you a little bit more about what we do here at the clinic. This project would not have been possible without your participation. We're still wrapping up some loose ends, but we're almost at the end of the project here at the building. However, a building is just a building at the end of the day. It's the people that pass through the doors and their experience that really matters. So to conclude, I wanted to end with a few of the remarks that we've heard from patient families since we fully reopened our doors on April 8th. One of the things that we've heard from a lot of people that have come through the clinic is remarks about the quality of the work and how the skill of the craftsmen involved is evident. Patients in general love the drop-off, coming into the waiting room, and love the extra room to maneuver, particularly if they're in a wheelchair. Patients appreciate the homey feel, which is something that we really strove to maintain from the original building. Some patients come here for infusions, which is a multi-hour process, and really appreciate the opportunity to be able to walk around and experience the property and the facility without just having to sit idly in an exam room. And finally, Dr. Poskett, who's our medical director, shared that one of our non-plane families said that it was nice enough to be a wedding venue. So we took that as a positive compliment. I think it is. So in all, I just want to say to everybody here today, thank you. Your contribution is appreciated. And thank you in particular to Hoover Building Specialists, who was the general contractor here. They had not done a project with so many volunteers before, and I think there was a little bit of nervousness in the beginning, but they did a great work adjusting to that process and working with everybody who wanted to be involved. And in particular, a big thank you to Andrew Knowlton, Will Petersheim, who were our contact people once we were into construction. A special thank you to Elam Stoltzfus from Narvon Builders, who was here this morning and maybe was coming back. I don't think I've seen him. As our owner's rep, he helped to coordinate a lot of the volunteers, and I'm sure many of you worked with him. He really went above and beyond what we asked him to do in order to make this project a reality. And also thank you to everybody in our Gift in Kind committee, many of you that are here today, who served as contacts and coordinators for all the major trades. That's a lot of extra work, and I know all of you have your own families and businesses to run, and we really appreciate you taking the time to help coordinate everybody and make this project a success. And also a big thanks to Jacob Petersheim and Glen Zimmerman, who you'll hear from next from our board, who serves as the chairs of the Gift in Kind committee, as well as helping with the planning and building process. We really appreciate all the work that you put into it. So I could go on thanking people, but I'm only supposed to talk for 4 minutes, and I'm probably at my time. So again, I just want to say to everybody here, thank you so much from everybody here at the Clinic for Special Children. We appreciate it.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and yeah, thank you, Adam. What a beautiful day it is to be out here and looking at this project that had took a lot of hours and work and labor and seeing the completion of it. We hope you had time to wander through the building and see what happens behind the doors here inside the clinic. And if you didn't take time afterwards to go through and have them explain what they do, it's quite amazing work that they carry out here. So I wanted to just kind of reflect a little bit. So approximately about 1 year and 3 months ago, this was corn stubble in a field, dirt field. So in that time, by the help and efforts of a lot of you here, why we have a completed building here. And I thought of the portion of the verse that said, "Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it." And we want to thank God for providing all these resources, these talents, these materials, whether no matter what purpose you had in contributing to that, and thank Him for giving us these great opportunities. And I know many of you, or probably none of you, help with this project with the idea of putting your name up on a billboard, or you didn't do it for recognition and for honor. But I think I don't know how we could possibly thank you for what you have done. Whether you feel it was just a small part or it was a larger contribution, it took everybody working together, and we thank you greatly for that. Various times throughout the project, I had the opportunity to stop in and observe as we were going for different things throughout the project, and many times I would just stand there and just listen inside the building. And if you ever I don't know if you ever thought about what does love and charity actually sound like in action. And you stood in the building, and it was very surreal to hear whether it was the stonemason's hammer, the construction nailers, the saw, all the components, the shovels out in the people planting the shrubbery, every aspect of it. I would sit there and you could listen, and you just listen to the sound of, and I just had to think that that's what love in action sounds like. So, as we know, this organization had a promise to the community, to a rare disease community, many years ago when they started, and that was they were going to be there and help and serve this community. And this building is a great step forward in that promise. So the work that goes on in here is extraordinary, as many of you know if you ever had to use the services of the clinic. And it wouldn't have been possible without the community stepping in and helping, and I feel this was a great way for the community to honor the clinic for the work that they do. And again, we just appreciate that immensely. To date, approximately $2 million was donated via labor and materials by many different hands, many different people. We tried to utilize a spoke and a wheel concept where we had people in charge of various different trades, and they reached out to people and they reached out to their suppliers, and it created quite a network of channeling support into this project. And for that, I want to thank all of you, whether it was behind the scenes in some unseen, unnoticed way, for just giving of your time, your talents, and your efforts to make this a success and see it come to fruition. So also, we got asked different times, how does a project like this go from concept to reality, and what's all involved in it? Well, it wasn't solely by our efforts by any stretch of the means. It was a combined effort of everybody, but I thought of the saying, or the story that we had once heard of. There was a mother that was in I believe it was a grocery store, had quite a few of her children around her, and a stranger walked up to her and said, "How do you divide your love between so many children?" And she thought for a little bit, and then she said, "Well, you don't divide love, you multiply it." And as I look at a project like this, it was a way that we could multiply the love and divide the labor by all doing a portion or a part of it, and all making this come to a completed project in such a way. It was quite an undertaking for a commercial project such as this to to have so many volunteers labor in it, and our general contractor was a little nervous at first, but it worked out, I think, very well in the end. And again, we thank you, because as Adam said, we could not have done this without all the many hands that made light work. So once again, I want to thank you for your participation, your support. Remember the clinic as time goes on. Their mission, it's their mission to continue, their goal to continue the mission they started on, and providing that promise back to the community to be there for them when they need them. So at this time, I'll turn it over to Garth, one of the contractors, to give their perspective on the project.
Good evening. I'm Garth from Middle Creek Property Maintenance, and I'm just going to share a couple remarks on our perspective on taking part of this project. It feels like a long time ago. I think it was in 2022 that the business at Middle Creek received a flyer in the mail outlining this particular project and asking for contractors to donate labor and supplies. At that point, we were thankful to the Clinic for Special Children for this opportunity to give back to the community by coordinating the landscaping and turf aspects of this project. Since all of the employees at Middle Creek are of an Anabaptist background, we feel indebted to the Clinic for Special Children for the invaluable resources and research given to our particular community. Many of us personally know people that have been blessed by this organization. As such, the employees at Middle Creek were excited to enter this project and enrich the community doing something that we love, landscaping. And I'm sure each particular other contractor as well enjoyed giving back to the community doing something that they were good at, a talent of theirs. Taking part in the colossal effort to build this big site, we were astonished at the ease it was to get other businesses to donate materials and labor to our section of the project. Whether it was nurseries that shared their time and expertise on telling us which plants to choose, or other landscaping companies that offered to work Saturdays to fit this in their busy schedules, we felt blessed to be a small part of this huge community undertaking. It was fun working at this project as we watched the clinic take shape around us, from the first poured walls to the final touches of the flower beds and it now being operational. With the property almost completed, we at Middle Creek, and I assume all the other businesses and contractors that help out, are looking forward to observing the positive influence that this building will have on the oncoming generations. May God bless the administrative team here as well as all the doctors and nurses as they continue to work selflessly to protect the most vulnerable among us.
Thank you for those remarks. And thanks to everybody again for coming out. I hope you had an opportunity to learn from the staff about a little bit more about what we do here at the clinic and the impact that we have on the rare disease community here in Lancaster and beyond. it was really incredible to see everybody come together and work on this project. I had never personally been involved in something like this before, but to see so many companies come together, some of which are normally competitors, to be able to work on a project like this was just really amazing to see. So please feel free to enjoy the refreshments that we have. If you didn't get a chance to move through the clinic, take a look through there. When you're finished, the shuttle to go back to the parking is over here to the right. We have a small thank you gift to give you before you get on the shuttle, but whenever you're ready, you can move over here to the right. So thanks again for coming out and spending some time here on such a beautiful day. Thank you.